Howdy, folks. I'm a very average-sized acorn.
I'm Amber.
And here's not a tree. All right. Our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for making my husband choose between me and his firstborn? My husband, a 25-year-old male, and I, a 22-year-old female, have been happily married for 2 years. We just had our first son and everything's been great. Until now. My husband dated a girl in high school, and this last week, her mother reached out to him, asking him to take his son. Apparently, she got pregnant right around when they broke up, and he left for the military and decided not to tell him. According to her mother, she's gotten into some bad stuff and left their son with her. But her health problems that she's been having, and she's not able to take care of him. The boy is 7 and looks exactly like my husband. My husband plans on having a DNA test done, but there's little doubt that the boy is his. My husband is a good man and would never want to not be a parent to his child. He wouldn't have left if he had known that she was pregnant. But I don't want us to take this boy. I would never ever have dated my husband if I knew that he had a kid. I don't want to be a step-parent. He wants us to take his son and just raise him like it was our own son. I have refused. My husband is in the military and will deploy for 9 months next year. I don't want to be a full-time single mom of 2 kids while he's gone, especially not one that isn't even my own. We're at a bit of a standstill. And if we got divorced, he wouldn't be able to see our son because I would move across the country to be with my family. I've told him that he can go visit his son if he wants to, but I'm not willing to be a step-parent. He is angry because no one can care for his own child long-term but me, and I don't really want to do it. I didn't sign up for this. Am I the jerk for not being willing to raise my husband's older child and making him choose? All right, folks, what do you think, jerk or not the jerk?
I'm going to go with not the jerk. OP didn't sign up for this.
I think this is a very sad situation. I think that OP and her husband have been put in an untenable position. She really did not want stepchildren. That's a big commitment to want to be a step parent. And it's a hard thing to do because step parents always get grief. Almost always get grief. And I can't blame OP for not wanting to be in that position. And she says that she knows that she wouldn't be able to be a good stepmother to a child, and that's why she wasn't willing to be a step parent, right?
Yeah, well, and then on top of that, since he would be deployed some of the time, she's going to spend a lot of time being the primary custodial parent, and that's a big issue.
That is pretty big because it's no longer the husband being the person who's raising the kid. It's the husband's wife raising the kid. And they might get along fine, but they might not. And this is a really big ask, especially given the circumstances. So I would really have to say that I don't think anyone's a jerk in this situation. I think the husband is fair to be upset by the situation because this was dropped on him, right? He didn't know about this kid. He has no way of preparing for this child. And it's a really hard situation. She has every right to be upset because he wants her to take the kid and raise them, right? And I just don't think anyone's a bad person in this situation. I think that it's just an unfortunate event that's occurred. There are times when people have to move apart, right? And this might just be a case where OP needs to choose a different path from their husband. And I think that's fine. People don't always come to see eye to eye. So yeah, it's a real rough situation. So I feel bad, and I don't envy OP or her husband in this situation.
Her husband will become a jerk if he keeps trying to force this on her. Because I understand he wants his kid taken care of, but he needs to be the one to provide that, get out of the military or something.
Yeah, it's a real rough situation. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for blocking access to my food and threatening no help with accommodations? I'm a 22-year-old male, and I'm in my first serious relationship with a 25-year-old female. We have been together just under a year. She moved into my place 3 months ago. Everything was going fine in the beginning, but once we started seeing each other more frequently, I noticed her bad habit. Every time we went out and food was involved, she would sample my food before I got to it. We are not just talking about a chip here and there, but a whole bite out of my sandwich. An actual classy place, she would take the first chunk of my steak, salmon, cake, you name it, she would take the first bite. I had several talks with her about this, but she said it was cute and not sinister. 4 months ago, H got a job with a training opportunity. After completion, she would return to her normal place and the salary would be higher. My place is 40 minutes closer than where she used to live, and I offered her to live with me rent-free if she stopped this behavior. The first month, she stuck to our agreement. The second month, she slipped up a few times, and last month, she has gone back to her old ways. Last weekend was a turning point. I bake and it's a hobby. I made a cake and after dividing it into 8 pieces, I left it in the fridge while I went out with a friend. Usually when I bake and friends drop me off, I will fetch a few slices and thank them for the lift with the cake from home. Imagine my surprise when I saw that each piece had a bite taken from it. I phoned my friend that I owe him some cake and that he needn't wait for me to come back. I was angry. I told her that she embarrassed me and that we needed to figure out a solution. She went on the defensive and said that she ate it due to loving it so much. Then eat one slice, not 8 pieces out of each one. What is wrong with this situation? That all women do this, and guys love it. Yeah, sure do love it when Amber eats a piece of my food.
I don't think I've ever done that.
I made it very clear that she needed to stop now or there would be consequences. The next day, I bought a lockbox for the fridge. She was livid, but couldn't do much. Last night, she broke the lock and had to take another bite out of my snacks and 2 slices of the baguettes in there. I told her to pack up her stuff and leave while I stay with my mother for a few hours. She called me a jerk for making her homeless and possibly ruining her employment opportunities. Am I the jerk? Alright folks, what do you think, jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. I'm team Joey doesn't share anyway, but if it had been one piece of cake, I could have understood, but every single slice.
I think that OP is on principle not the jerk here, but there's a big caveat here. He needs to give her more time to move out than just a weekend. And I certainly understand relationships not working out, but to be oh yeah, you have no notice for getting kicked out. I actually draw the line there. I think that he's perfectly reasonable to dump her, right, and say, look, we're over. There's no more us, right? No more us and no more you eating my snacks, eating pieces of my food. But I just think that it's a little in poor taste to kick her out immediately. This is certainly a violation of his trust, but it's not he can't. I just think that she needs 2 weeks.
Well, my one concern with that is it sounds like she gets spiteful. She broke the lock and bit every single thing in the fridge.
It's pretty childish. I mean, certainly.
And that's not that big in the scheme of things.
Yeah.
But if she's threatened with eviction and has 2 weeks, is she gonna resort to bigger things?
Yeah, I mean that's certainly a problem, but that's also what small claims courts are about. And be listen, don't do anything like this, otherwise I'll sue you. I will have no problem taking you to court. That's terrible. There's just no winning here, right? So yeah. I don't think that OP's the jerk, though, for the most part. Maybe kicking him out fast. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Not the jerk, and also major red flags here, especially concerning how all women do this. Nope, they don't, and this is very weird behavior. She's ignoring your boundaries and then using your inexperience against you to manipulate you into thinking this is normal. This is not what a normal person who is acting in good faith would do. This is a woman who's trying to use your inexperience and thinks things like social pressure on women regarding food to make you think your very normal boundaries and emotional reaction to your boundaries being crossed is incorrect. She's trying to get you to doubt yourself, your abilities to set boundaries, and your emotional reactions. The person is bad news. Get away from her. All right, our next letter was requested by the OP here, and they said that their post was deleted, and they just wanted some input on it, so thanks for sharing this one. Our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Not Kneeling with My Team During Prayer? Throwaway account and on mobile. I'm an 18-year-old male and I'm an atheist, and I've been that way for the past few years. I was raised in a family where my mother is non-religious and my father and his family are Catholic, and my brother, a 30-year-old male, is also an atheist. So it's not a lack of exposure to religion or whatever that has made me the way that I am. I live in the southern US where football is king, and of course I played it. Not to brag, but I've been considered one of the top offensive linemen in my county, voted to the second in my team 10th grade year, and first in my team the 11th and 12th. So this situation isn't because of my lack of status. Being in the South, all of my teammates were very religious, as well as the coaches. So the team all gathered after practice and before and after games to pray. Me, being an atheist, I decided after my sophomore year to stop kneeling with them in prayer. I would just stand near the back with my head down, being respectful. Some of my teammates asked why I stopped kneeling, and I told them that I felt that it would be disingenuous if I kneeled, not really believing anything that they say. My teammates seemed fine, but they were a little bit off with me for the rest of high school. After graduation, a couple of them told me that they had lost respect for me after refusing to kneel with them. I don't feel like I was disrespectful in any way, yet they disagree. But maybe I should have just continued to kneel with them during prayer. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think, jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk, but your school is. And I want to say that you were 100% respectful in this situation. You didn't disrupt their prayer or anything. You were very, polite and respectful. But this is the problem with when schools do these kind of things, is it makes people who aren't part of that religion, puts them on the outside and makes them feel like they have to conform to this religion, or else they're ostracized.
Yeah, so fundamentally, I think that religion is a fine thing, and I want to get that right out of the way. And I am not here to beat up on anyone's religion in particular, but I do think that you handled this in a respectful way. You explained what your beliefs were, and instead of just accepting that you don't have the same beliefs as them, they instead were like, oh, I lost respect for you, right? And I think that's a real shame, because it sounds like you have a lot of great accomplishments to your name and that you're doing a really good job with your football, and I think that's really good. It sounds like you've worked really hard to achieve the status that you have, and it's a shame that people are trying to take away from your accomplishments because they don't necessarily agree with your personal points of view. Mm-hmm. So I think that you showed them more respect for their religious beliefs than they showed for your religious beliefs. Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to debate this. I just think that you weren't in the wrong for not wanting to kneel with them. I think that was perfectly fine and acceptable.
Yeah, well, and what I was trying to say, I'm not ragging on people for having religion, but I do think that secular schools, like public schools, should not have religious practices in them, because not everyone adheres to one particular religion.
Yeah. And
I think schools need to respect all ideologies.
Yeah, I think that it's important for us to respect all people's ideologies and all just get along nicely here, right? So thanks for sending this one in. Good luck in your future endeavors here. So take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I have some tea. Amber has some mint tea as usual.
Brian picked his own tea today.
I did pick my own tea today, so I got it right. Well, it's one of my gross teas where I just used the tea bag once already, and now I'm using the tea bag again. So that's why. Do you have a joke for us, Amber?
I do.
Oh, you have?
I came up with this one on the fly, so can't promise it's any good, but... What dinosaur has short arms and loves chai?
Chai?
Mm-hmm.
Tea? The Tyrannosaurus Rex.
A T-Rex.
Oh. Of course, the obvious. I don't know why I didn't get that. And I have Earl Grey. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving it a like. And if you didn't, consider giving it a dislike. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Bye.